very quickly, in terms of this, we don't operate in isolation of other plasterboard manufacturers around the world, and particularly in our region. So the gypsum board manufacturers of Australasia is a group that's done an enormous amount of work collaboratively to look at the health and safety and the environmental impacts of the materials that we produce and the raw materials that we draw on. So you can see here that there's 5 of us involved with it. BGC are based in Western Australia. Boral and CSR are very, very large Australian-based organisations. And Lafarge is a global manufacturer of plasterboard as well. One of the more recent bits of work or pieces of work that we've commissioned has been around life cycle assessment. And that's resulted in this sort of table here to understand where the energy usage is in the life cycle, at least from a cradle to gate and from a cradle to grave perspective. And as you can see there, whilst we bring in materials from Australia, the sea freight energy component is very, very low. And some of you will have recalled recently there's been some research into some of our dairy and meat producers shipping meat and products into the UK. Which also found that the sea freight component is, for carbon generation, CO2 generation, is very, very small. And it's the same with us in terms of bringing gypsum out of Australia. We don't have in New Zealand, by the way. We generate paper, but we don't have any gypsum, so we literally are forced to bring it in. But sea freight is a very, very efficient means of transporting bulk materials. The point here is that it's our own production processes that are the most energy hungry. They do produce CO2, and that's where we've had an enormous effort over the last 2 decades, particularly to reduce that component. We've had a voluntary CO2 reduction program with the government that goes back to 1990 and 1991 now, I think, nearly 20 years. And with one exception, year on year, we've been able to reduce the CO2 generated per tonne of plaster. And we're quite rightly proud of that, but let's be quite clear, it's nothing benevolent about it. It's simply that as users of energy, we want to reduce our costs and remain internationally competitive, even though we're right down, as I say, on the backside of the globe. We have to be very mindful of our efficiencies, and because we do compete with major producers all around the globe, and particularly in Asia. So it makes business sense. And the analogy here, of course, is the same to do with this rating tool. It's to do with the long-term sensibility of investing in a house that is more efficient from the onset, rather than thinking that you will do it later on. The best time to introduce features that introduce energy efficiency and other features, water efficiencies, is really at the design stage of the new house. In saying that, of course, we've got to be cognizant that we've got a huge existing stock out there, and there are measures that can be done to improve them as well. We've followed the life cycle assessment process done for the gypsum board manufacturers of Australasia with our own work through Scion. Now, these documents are downloadable if you're interested off our website, so they're public documents. This document here we generated with Scion, and we wanted to compare where gypsum board sat, or GIB board sat, in regard to a whole range of other materials. So from a designer perspective, if you're interested in what energy there is in a square metre of a particular wall or ceiling, or floor for that matter, there's some useful data in this document which is downloadable off our website, okay? And again, we've tried to provide information in as usable format as we can. At the moment, it's done on the basis of energy per kilo, but we're just translating that into a square meterage rate for different materials. So you're able to then do a compilation of values to get what there is in a square metre of wall or floor or ceiling. We touched on these a little bit through the earlier discussion, but as I said, Construction efficiencies are to do with things like the horizontal fixing, looking at standardised, from a design perspective, looking at standardised modules. So in other words, not in the residential market particularly, not going out and creating rooms that are 2.95, by 3.12 or something like that. Appreciating that you will always have the tensions from and the demands from your clients. I mean, that's never going to go away, is it, simply? But as professionals, I'm sure that you will get more in tune with describing to them that if you were to go with standard modules, and most sheet materials are built in modules of 300 millimetres, that there will be some efficiencies and reduction in waste accordingly. That's up to you to sort of debate with your clients, I suspect. There's a lot of information for you as designers on our website as a tool. And we've got two websites, as you can see there, the GIB.co one, which is really there for you to use in a self-help mode. And the other one is one that we've designed for your clients, GIB Living. I checked some data yesterday in the last 12 months that it's been running. It's a consumer website, it's a consumer-friendly website that allows them to have a look at examples of people who have renovated their house or built new houses. It's giving them their own experience. It's giving a whole range of views in a consumer language. So it's not in a designer language, it's not in a manufacturer language. You'll see in there, for instance, that we've done a feature recently on wet areas with consumers choosing the best 5. So they're able to go in there, look at the commentary, all the issues that they had from a design right through to the construction, warts and all. So we've put that there as a useful tool for you to drive your clients to before coming to you with probably a better idea of what they want, perhaps some realities about the costs of such as well, and the difficulties of achieving some aspects of their desires as well. The other element that we do provide you as designers, of course, is the on-call technical services. And I've got a number of subject experts in my team, including construction. So we've got builders with many decades of experience who sit there. They carry out training programs with something like 3,000 to 4,000 tradespeople a year around the country. They do it on the building sites. And we've got part of the team who are also doing training with building officials right throughout the country. Less so with your sector, but we want to engage more with you. So we're looking forward to doing that, and initially through the institutes and the associations. But on the end of the phone, if you need help, they're there. Okay, give them a call on the 0800 number, and you'll be, depending on your inquiry, you'll be directed to the appropriate subject expert. As I said, we've got building, structural, fire, acoustics, noise, wet areas, and quality of finish. That's my little thing. So if any of those sort of subjects are dear to your heart and you've got an issue or a challenge, then please give us a call. We really look forward to it. Just whilst you're looking at some of those little quotes that I like, we're also sponsoring the upcoming Institute of Architects CPD days in next month, May, and we're really looking forward to seeing some of you there. Earlier this year, we also supported the yacht race up here, the Architects Yacht Race. Did anybody survive? Great, good to see you survived. Was that the after function or was that the yachting? No, it's good. We really enjoy those functions and interacting with you. There's no doubt about that at all. Just finally, we'd like to wish you well in terms of your future endeavours to improve the built environment. And as a very final thing, if you aren't on our mailing list, the latest GIB news not only covers those embarrassing moments on the Architects Yacht Race, but it also has a page on the rating tool written by my colleague Kevin Golding, who has been reasonably familiar with it, I'd say. And finally, a whimsical from a chemist to those who have a little bit of knowledge of chemistry. Please indulge my bit of humour. And with that, I thank you very much.